Welcome back, everybody. We got in today it's a 2013, 2012 van, he said, but it is a 2013 unit, 4.3 liter in a van. They were stating that it was, when I look, they said it's got like a 2-3 flare, kind of slipping intermittently, and then, you know, obviously the 2-3 flare. I'm assuming we're just going to see, you know, some worn out clutches, things of that nature, typical 3-4. Let's get your lockup O-ring out of the way. Move this mic. Let's see. There we go. It's not irritating the shit out of me. All right, but let's get into it, see what we got. Get our output speed sensor out of here. Get our extension housing off of this thing. Permitting my sockets not MIA. Just your 615s. Get the servo out of the way. Typical corrosion holding it in. You gotta be careful doing this. Sometimes you can crack the case if you pry too hard. Just kind of get it started. So I can expose the O-ring seal inside of there. See if I can get a little bit more of it showing. Yeah, it's just all real corroded. Almost got it showing. And just tons of corrosion. Let me buzz the bell off so I get a better angle on it first. Get a little bit better of an angle on it. Just kind of try and there we go. There's just so much corrosion on it. It was really holding it in place. It broke on me. It's all right. See, get your 4th gear servo, 2nd gear servo. Fluid's really black. Servo pin has a little scarring on it. Nothing too crazy. Get your bolts out of here. They drained it, but you know, you get that residual fluid in it. There it comes like water. It's pretty burnt. So we're probably gonna see typical, you know, 3-4 plates, band, burn up. Well, so we're not dealing with too much fluid. Hand bolts out of the way. Yeah, I mean, typical clutch, probably, you know, maybe some converter failure too. I don't see any metal, which is good. Metal bad. Clutch material, we can deal with that. Yeah, filter's not clogged, so that's good. Little clog, but it's still flowing good. Oh. Double check, make sure you still see. Yeah, I got it suspended above me. Let's see what we got. Get our solenoids, it's your pump input speed connector. Maybe. Your internal Prindle switch, shift solenoids. Your force motor unplugged. We gotta get this out of here. And sorry if I keep bumping the camera with my head. Let's get our lockup solenoid out of the way. Give it a little wiggle wiggle. There. Get some of this oil off my table. Oh, it's stinky too. It's a stinker. Just like the last one. Ooh, she just slid right off. Usually they're stuck. Typical one spring setup. Yeah, see, it's all collapsed. Let's see, where's my air so we can check the piston. Housing looks okay. Yeah, 1-2 accumulator is cracked. Pull it a little closer so you guys can see. Let's make sure you can see it. There we go. See, it always usually cracks in that like triangle pattern. Usually don't see it on this side. Usually only see it on that side right there. But it, you know, the plastic ones, if you've been watching me, you know I don't use those. I use a Sonics pinless. So, you know, it's not gonna bother me after I'm built with it. I'm done building it because it's that's never going to happen again to this unit. Let's see, get our other socket. I don't need that. Too much crap sitting here. All right, get this off the bench. It's going to get me. All right. I like to get them out of the way first, then pull the forward accumulator out of the valve body while it's bolted up. It's plastic as well, not cracked, but again, it's going to get a Sonics pinless throughout the whole unit. Get your 8 mils out of the way. Missing our reverse valve. All right. A little reverse cover plate out of the way. There's a magnet. Looks like they slid around on me. I'll look at the plate here in a second. Just checking the plate for any damage to the check balls, which is kind of typical. I mean, it's seen worse, but it's pretty beat out. Normally you see it beat out real bad there, and these like right around here. Usually this section's okay. It's usually right in through here. I mean, that one's pretty enlarged. It's gonna get a new transgo plate regardless. Lots of aluminum there, signifying the converter. Not a ton, but you get some aluminum wear somewhere in the unit. Not necessarily the converter, but usually it is. It's your 3.4 accumulator, which is still aluminum. Again, gets a pinless updated one. I'll go over the valve body later because it's got to get cleaned up and all that stuff before I can test it. It's in park already. This way we can get our harness out of here. And I won't reuse it. We'll get a new roster, but I just don't like breaking them in case, you know, customer wants his old parts back or whatever the case may be. Get some more of this oil out of the way. Drain a little more. Yeah, there's our last one. Little check ball fell out for the one too. Let's try and get that out before I start dismantling it more. Less times I have to squeegee. Even though they dropped the pan and drained it, it's just, these units just keep giving and giving, man. All right. And hopefully it'll come out on us, which it did. Just grab the pump apart. The input speed sensor on these, I don't play around with it. It gets a new one. I don't care because I don't want to have to pull a unit back out, or the customer to have to pull a unit back out just because you don't replace this sensor. I mean, granted, it's like 60 bucks, but you can't get it unless you pull the whole unit out. So those always get replaced. Let's see what we got going on with the pump. Hopefully nothing, but hard to tell. Should clean it a little. Get your pump pin spring. I almost lost it. Gotta check the slide. These, get some brake clean so we get a better look at it. Let's see what we got. Feels good. Rotor looks all right. The slide's got some chatter marks on it. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but you can see it from here to here across. the inner part of the slide. I mean, it's here. It really should get a pump kit, which is going to consist of these two components: the rotor, the slide, the plastic vane, or the vanes, the plastic guide, and both rings. So I mean, it needs a pump kit, but the pump surfaces look good. The tube looks fine. The journal looks good. Needs a new bushing, obviously. Bushing's pretty worn out, but the pump as a whole is fine. Just needs a pump kit. Oh, the band already came off for us. Let's see what we got. The band don't look too bad. We got some scoring going on here. Lots of meat on it still. Get your pump washer off of here. Drum don't look too bad. Reverse input feels good. We'll look it over a little closer here in a second. I'm gonna leak check the drum. See if we have any leak going on. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, see those bubbles coming out from under there? See them? I don't know if the video picks it, but this drum's definitely bad. See, I'm releasing it with my finger, but drain some of the fluid off. Get below that little release valve, like right there. I'm plugging a little orifice and the apply circuit for fourth, and I'm hitting it with air. Hard to see it. It's leaking out of my finger. Keep trying in here. Looked like it might have just been coming out of my finger. These do like to do this here, so it can be a really bad issue. Yeah, it is. It looks like it's coming out of around right there. Let's get rid of most of the fluid except for under the bearing. Like that. Yeah, see, it's hard to see, but it is. It's coming out between the journal of the shaft, right in there. This drum's going to need to be replaced. I'll try and press the shaft first, clean it up. It might just be the aluminum housing, and then put a bunch of Loctite around the shaft. Especially when this heats up, that little tiny leak I had will get worse. So minimally, it's going to need the housing, the aluminum housing, which I have these new. The shafts I have, his shaft will probably be okay. It's a lot harder. You know, it's steel versus aluminum. So, you know, clean everything up, press this out, and then take and repress the shaft in with a bunch of Loctite, and then check it again. And if it still fails, take the shaft back out, put it in a new housing with Loctite, and it'll be a done deal. But it definitely needs this housing for sure, which we're gonna have burnt 3/4s, which we do. Which is pretty common on the 4L60Es. I don't see the shaft leaking between the drum too much anymore. I mean, maybe 1 out of every like 10 that I do. But yeah, I mean, these plates are pretty hurt. Which it leaking there would definitely cause this. a burnt 3/4 stack. Well, doing it like that from the dealer, it's awesome, unless this has been built before. Come on, I'm just trying to get the forward snap ring out of there. I like to try and take it all apart and then go over it after I get it apart. Try to do it as a whole. Alright. And it's going to get new anti-drag springs, longer ones. I use a custom one. 2 Torrington bearings and your 3/4 stack. There's your top plate. And that's all coned. Second, it's coned again. Hardly any material left on it. Still not down to the steel yet. They're all coned, well, that one is down to the steel. It's coned real bad. So yeah, it's gonna also need both the ply plate and pressure plate. And it'll get new frictions and steels regardless, but it does need that pressure plate top and bottom. God, I can't talk today, man. All right, let's check your overruns. Don't look too hateful. We got that's my fluid. We got that. Pressure plate, your wave, your first forward steel. A slight discoloration on the inner diameter. Not too, same on that, on the top side. Same again there. Probably get worse the closer we get to the top. Middle, yeah. Not destroyed by any means, but they're starting to have issues. You can kind of see on the scoring of it. Check your reverse input. I mean, don't look bad. Still gets all new plates. A little more scoring. Nothing crazy there. It's about normal. Let's check the sprag. It's going to be the plastic and gold. Should be. And it is. Yeah, GM changed it to a double cage, but they use plastic. Gets new sprags regardless. The race looks nice. The hub's fine. That's usually what it takes out, is the hub. It needs a new inner race. I can see the outer race. I can see the chattering and the scarring in it. Needs that. That's bad. New bushings for the inner. This is bad. Check this drum. Get to my straight piece. Oh, wow. Well. Grab a light just to be sure, but it looks like it's drum's actually okay. Gotta check down for the piston apply. It's fine down inside it as well. Kick drum's all right. Our pump ring out of the way. There's not much left to it. Just gotta get the snap ring out of here. Let's see. Come on. Just got to get the center support snap ring out here. And of course, it started to get hung up on the clunk spring. So we gotta give it a little persuasion here. I just have to deform the clunk spring a little. Get it out of the way of the support. Like that. Out of the way. It's being a little bit of a pain. Oh, it's really stuck in there, boy. Jeez. All right. Let's see. Alright, unit's really apart as far as we need to get it to. There's a clunk spring, just had to bend that a little because it gets hung up. There's your low and reverse plates. I mean, they look okay. But I mean, it's going to get new frictions and steels throughout. I don't reuse any of that stuff. Oh, I keep hitting that damn camera, man. Apologize about that, everybody. It's just like right here. It's like my head's like right there. Probably see my face and stuff coming in and out. But let's see. The rear hub and ring gear looks good. It's the hardened type. You can tell. It's the new design where it's, it's the last design, 2013. It looks fine. Check our rear carrier. The rear planet feels good. Nothing wrong with that. Rear sun gear looks fine. New wide bushing I'll put in there. Center support. It's going to get a new sprag. Again, Borg Warner only on those. I don't care if it looks good or not. It's getting a new one. The race looks fine, just needs cleaned up. Let's check our front planet. The input hub looks good. It is the late style with the capped bearing. Looks good. Check our captured bearing down in there. Feels good. Check our captured bearing in here. Feels good. So the gear training is fine. It's getting a new sun shell. It needs it anyway. It's starting to not cut it, but it's starting to wear it pretty good. It gets a new shell. Let's see what else we got in here. Just get this stacked. Maybe. All the grit is holding it together. There we go. So I can set it aside, keep it together. The output shaft journals look nice. Snap ring groove looks okay. O-ring for the yoke seal. So basically, I mean, it's getting a full rebuild, you know, friction steels, electronics, both the new sprags, the band, the wiring harness, a valve body plate. I still have to do the valve body and check for any leaks, but this drum definitely has an issue. So it's gonna need this drum. That's how I'm gonna price it out. It'll just be for the drum, this race, and then the sprags, and the electronics, and a converter, of course. Not too hateful. I wasn't expecting to see any crazy hard part damage, but yeah, we do have to address that leak because it'll just happen again in under 50,000 miles if I left this the way it was. His 3.4s would burn up again, and he'd be back and a highly upset customer. Trying to think, is there anything else on it I go over? Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go over the valve body, but again, I got to clean it and solvent, and I got to take it apart, get it, and then put it back together, get it dry, and then vac test it in order to know if there's any issues with that. I got to get set up to do that and get my report and price over to the customer so they can determine if they want to do the build or not. Yeah, it's a stinky one, man. For just the main complaint was like a 2-3 flare. I mean, it's pretty hurt. As far as the 3-4 plates are burnt pretty good. I'm trying to think, is there anything else to go over? No, that would be it. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Appreciate you watching. And check back soon. I got more coming. This one just got dropped off. Customer called out of the blue today, and they dropped it off like an hour later, so I wasn't expecting this one today. But thanks for watching, everybody, and check back soon.